I look around now and I've taken a lot of animals with handguns. I've also missed quite a few things with a handgun. And all of them have been an adventure and been a journey. And the several things that I take away in this journey is the practice. I have to practice with my compound bow and a handgun a lot to maintain proficiency for me. I think as you get older, that's just part of life too. And there are people that are just gifted. You know, look at Jerry Mikulek. The guy has, you know, I don't even know how old that guy is, but he can still shoot the, you know, eyes out of something at 100 yards with a handgun with a barrel like that, and speed records and wins competitions. I mean, it's amazing to me. He's a gifted, talented guy, but I promise you that guy practices all the time. So when it comes to a hunting situation, I try to practice and prepare for what I expect to encounter in the field. Am I going to be sitting on the ground? Am I shooting out of a box blind? Am I in a tree stand? What are the variables going to be in handgun hunting? And I try to practice those. But one thing about all of those is being as consistent as I can and being as repetitive as I can in how I hold it, how I get the gun on target. Doesn't matter whether I'm shooting 9mm or shooting the big hand cannons. I try to be as consistent as I can. Yeah, there's little variables in each one of them, but I try to be as consistent in my practice as I possibly can. I also pay attention to my aiming devices, and there's a lot of them out there. And each one of them provides some positives and negatives in a lot of different situations. And I've learned the hard way on a lot of this, on certain things that I need to do to be better. You know, you look at a scope, a magnifying, scope to be able to magnify the shot. And there's not a lot of them out there that can handle those big hand cannons. They'll crush them. Those big guns, the big caliber, man, you've got to pick the right ones in those situations. You know, and I've used them everything from 308s to the 460s, even up to the 500 a little bit. And, you know, I've seen the ones that can handle it and can't. Do your research on that. Obviously, all the guns come with open sights. You know, you can shoot those right out of the box and be successful. But I've learned limitations in those situations. In low light situations, a lot of the handguns that you're going to pick up, you get it back in a box blind, you get back in a pop-up or in some kind of hide, the sights are hard, really can be hard to see. I missed a deer. We were on a hunt in Texas. We were in a creek bottom. It was dead calm. I had two camera guys with me, Gentry and Jeff, and these deer were moving up and down out of this creek bed up onto a flat and off that flat down into the creek bottom. It was a perfect setup. The deer were milling around it at different times. There was one really old buck that kept coming through that area. It was dead calm. I'm trying to get a shot. In low light situations and some of that, I couldn't even see the animal properly to get my sight on him. When I finally did get a shot, I think after 3 days of encountering different deer, I was so amped up and so tight. I mean, I think that bullet hit about 30 yards over that deer. We never even saw anything on the camera, and the deer looked at me, ran off, and he's a memory. But it was a learning lesson about sights in a low light situation in that scenario and dealing with calm conditions and listening to that gun cock, and resulted in operator error on my fault and a missed opportunity. You know, the aiming solution, so to speak, you know, I love the high-vis sights that you can put on aftermarket on a lot of cases for your handguns. They've actually come out with some new sights that even really line up to tell you that you're on your target really, you know, in a perfect situation. They've got the tritium in the low light situations, very important usage once you're in a box blind or a pop-up in low light. You look at the Trigicon, red dots, and the different sets of sights you can find there. You can look at a scope that you can put on your handgun. All of those play a role in your aiming solutions to find the best way to get on the target. You've got to practice with them, talk to your buddies, do the YouTube research, do the Google research, do all those things. Nothing is going to supersede or overtake time in the field with them. I find a use for each one of them is interchangeable based on where I'm going and how comfortable I'm going to be and what I'm trying to accomplish, what the experience that I want as a hunter. That's also important to understand as a hunter. Your experience and your desires may be totally different than what I'm looking for. You know, I may be trying to take a doe with open sights with a 10mm, where you're trying to have the hunt of a lifetime and you want a precision aiming point to be able to shoot 100 yards. Your choice of gun is different. Your choice of aiming is going to be different. Your practice, where you're going, all of those. So just do your research, because once you start enjoying it and dialing it all in, it's a whole other world of hunting.